As we are streaming and we are live.
Oh, jolly good. I always seem to say the same thing. Jolly good.
Another TeaFlix, another Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we are very, very excited today to have our wonderful guest, who is a fellow Scouser, a pop star, an author, a heartthrob, a musician, an interpreter of songs, a voice beyond compare. And
lovely fella.
And a lovely chap to boot.
Lovely fella, yeah.
And easy on the eye, if I may say so.
No, yeah.
So just don't tell me husband, you know. So I will, without further ado, things will drop out of the ceiling and people will join us. And here's Billy J.
Billy Kramer. Well. How are you, Billy?
I'm very good, very good.
It's a long time, isn't it, since we were all together?
It is a long time.
Yeah. But I follow you.
You do?
I stalk you, oh dear, yeah. I'm probably your oldest stalker.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that, 94 and a half.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's not forget the half, yeah.
So you are based in Chicago area these days, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
That's great. Well, that means the Beatle Fest comes to you and you don't
August,
have to go to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be doing that in August.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, you know.
Yeah, Frida Kelly's going to be there.
Great.
Frida's going to be there. It's a great crowd.
Yeah.
I'll be doing some songs from the new album.
Oh, good.
It's great.
Yeah.
Joe, I'm just going to check with Mart's the engineering upstairs. You can see me?
Jolly
good. Jolly good. So I want to start at now, and then we'll go back to the beginning. So you have a fabulous new record out called Are You With Me? And that's such a lovely Liverpool expression. Where did that song come from?
You know, Are You With Me was a single before last. I have one out called I Couldn't Have Done It Without You.
Yeah.
But Are You With Me was sent to me by a friend of mine, Tom Hamburg, who produces Buddy Guy and Susan Sadesky and a lot of other people. And it was just him on an acoustic guitar. And I've been sitting at home for maybe 4 years. And I played it to Jeff Fairholtz, one of the producers.
Yep.
And he said, this is a great song. And he made a great demo of it. And that was it. You know, it's
Nice.
We all came out with it. Good.
It's funny how some things just get tucked away sometimes. And then when they finally make it, everybody says, why would you not put this out right away? But it happens, I know.
Well, you know, I mean, there's. I'm always surfing and getting in touch with people. I'm always collecting songs or writing songs.
Yeah.
When it came to do the CD, I just started going through stuff I had there. Yeah. And that was one of the songs.
Little gem you still have. That's great. Yeah. I'm glad something made it, come to fruition eventually.
And Mark Hudson came up with a great song.
Yeah.
The follow-up, I Couldn't Have Done It Without You.
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny enough, I had all the songs listed, and then about a week before I was going to go to Abbey Road, he called me up and he goes, we were talking about a song a while ago, Billy. And I went, yeah. He said, I finally got around to doing it.
Great.
Good.
And he said, I'll send it. And he sent it to me. And I thought, so I had to scrub one of the other songs and put it in because it was such a great song. And he's such a great writer,
Yeah, God, absolutely. Aren't you lucky, though, that you've had such a career that you've still got all these amazing people around you, like Mark Hudson and Lawrence Juba and it's a real Beatle, Liverpool, Epstein stable family still, isn't it?
Well, I mean, funny enough, I've worked with Lawrence back in 1978.
Oh, really?
Really, I worked before he was with Wings.
Yeah.
I did some sessions for AMI, and I recorded. I had a single called San Diego out at the time.
That's right.
Tony McCauley song. Lawrence played on that, and he played on the B side, which was called Warm Summer Rain. Then I had the song Ships That Pass in the Night. He played on, and Billy Kinsley wrote the B side called Is There Any More at Home Like You?
Yep. That's another lovely Scouse saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a viewer on David Hobbs saying, Billy lived next door to my stepdad in Bootle. His name was Morley. So talk about
Morley.
small. Yeah. Talk about a small world, eh?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what's so great about like little shows like ours. So many people get in touch
Yep.
that have lost touch with each other forever.
Yeah.
And they've all built their own little communities now, where they all contact each other outside of this program.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I get people getting in touch with me that I haven't heard of for donkeys.
Well, like us.
Yeah, we do.
Speaking of old donkeys.
I can still remember that the last time we did a show together was the Peter Price radio show.
Oh,
Gosh,
God.
was it really?
Oh, really? Pete Price is still going. He doesn't have a regular radio show, but he does an awful lot of stuff with Jay Hind, who used to be his producer at either Radio City or Radio Merseyside. Mm-hmm. And Jay runs a wonderful magazine. Online.
It's an online blog website called The Guide.
The Guide Liverpool. It's a fabulous book.
It's really great. It's not a book. It's a website.
It's a show.
It's a blog, you old fart.
I'm an old fart.
It's National Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and I'm getting me word in. So.
Oh, gosh. It's always National Elder Abuse Day, as far as I'm concerned.
So let's go back to the beginning. What, in Bootle, when you were growing up, you would have been about the same age as the boys, the Fab Four, and happy birthday to Big Brother Paul today, who turns 82.
82, yeah.
You're a couple of years behind them. But what were your early musical influences? Was it from the household, from the parents, or radio, or?
Like everybody else, I listened to the radio.
Yeah.
I listened to the Radio Luxembourg on Sunday night, the Ovaltinis and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yes.
We are the Ovaltinis.
Happy girls and boys.
Yeah. I listened to that. And then, the only thing, my father was a drummer boy in an army band.
Oh, really?
And he played piano very well, played piano by ear. He didn't read, but he could knock all the latest tunes out.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit like Jimmy Mack. My dad never learned. He had Jim Mack's band in the 20s, and he learned by ear, and the boys, Paul, learned by ear. I mean, you did in those days. Nobody really had the money to go to a posh music teacher, did you?
No, I mean, I never went to. I mean, I bought a cheap guitar.
Yep.
I think it was £3. And I sat on the staircase at home in Bootle and drove my parents crazy till I learned all the chords.
Yeah.
I never thought of going to music school.
No. Well, I mean, there really wasn't it. I mean, there may have been music class in regular primary school or secondary school.
I don't think there was in those days.
But I don't remember even, I was born in 1960, so I'm a tad younger than you guys, but I don't remember there being sort of a vocational like LIPA now, where you could go to a stage school or anything.
No, there was nothing like that. And I'll be honest with you, I think the music class was only about 1 hour a week.
Yeah, amazing.
My only touch with music, I sang in the choir at school.
Yeah.
Right. Well, actually, our friend Ashley Davey from Alabama is asking, did you buy that £3 guitar at Hessie's by any chance?
No, it was from a kid who went to school with me.
Oh.
A guy called Billy Grant, his name was.
Gosh.
A kid who lived nearby. In fact, somebody just got onto me on Facebook and says that they've got my first guitar. So I'm just wondering.
I wonder what it's worth now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I often wonder about the guitar. I had a guitar stolen, which was the reason I got into singing. So I'm wondering maybe it might be that one. I don't know.
You never know. I mean, you just saw that John Lennon's guitar got sold for, I don't know, a couple of $1 million. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
How these things just turn up in somebody's attic after, such and such a while.
Yeah.
But God, that's awful. And even though it was stolen, you'd never be able to trace it back to who nicked it, would you?
No.
No, not a chance.
So what made you actually, once you had a regular job first, didn't you?
Engineer,
yeah. And did you have aspirations?
I worked for British Rail. I was an apprentice engineer.
Yeah.
I worked in a locomotive shed doing maintenance on locomotives.
Yeah.
And then I started a band with just local guys who lived in the same street and friends.
Yeah.
And funny enough, they tried different singers, and then they said, you know, you're not getting very good on a guitar, so try it without. And the first gig we got, I got this guitar that I bought from Hesse, stolen, and that was it. I was stuck. I never wanted to do it, but I was stuck with it because they said, you know, you either sing or we can find somebody else.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing when you look back how sometimes just these little happenstances in the universe that happen along your path just completely change your life?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you know, it is amazing because, like, on one of the videos of the song I've done called "I Couldn't Have Done Without You," we went back and there was a club on a place called Fernhill Road called the Oddford Club, which we used to play there on a Saturday night for a pint of beer.
Oh,
And
that's all you got paid?
yeah, that's all we got paid because we used to practice there, and they said you got to pay for the electricity and the hall. So, you know, we used to play there. When I got this guitar stolen, I went to the Oddford Club about a week later, and they had a raffle, and I won the raffle, and it was just enough money to pay my brother back the money I'd borrowed to buy it.
Wow.
So, you know, there's I always say God was watching over me, definitely.
That must have been.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good
Wonderful.
grief. You've got a lot of people watching over you. We've got Elizabeth Carbone in New York. We've got Charlie Walsh from down in Florida, Brendan McKinley on from Ireland. Lots of love coming in from all over the world, which is fantastic. So you've now made the transition to music, but you weren't Billy J. Kramer, the heartthrob pop.
I was Billy Kramer.
Right. So tell them.
And then just before Do You Want to Know a Secret came out, I had a meeting with Brian, and John Lennon was there, and he said, Brian said, you know, John has a suggestion, and it was like to add the J, and I said, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just flows, doesn't it?
Yeah, Billy J.
You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, so many people, even to this day, refer to you as Billy J. I do, I must admit.
Yeah.
Well,
I say Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas.
No.
Yeah.
So how did the Dakotas come about before we get into the solo Billy J?
What happened was I was with school friends and neighborhood friends, and when Brian approached me about being professional, they didn't want to do it.
Ah.
They were they had other careers.
Yeah.
So he then moved on to the Dakotas. He'd used the Dakotas doing the backing jobs when people used to come from the South. You know, people like Mike Berry came to Liverpool in the North. People like Mike Song, and the Dakotas did the backing jobs. So we had a meeting with the Dakotas, and that's what we did.
That's amazing. We've got lots of love. Charlie Walsh is saying your music always triggers some of his best memories. Thank you for being you. Isn't that lovely to hear that from people?
That's a wonderful thing. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie Walsh was a very good friend to Louise Harrison in her later days and took really good care of her towards the end.
Yeah.
So, that's how we know Charlie. And he was really a devoted friend to Louise.
Well, this is what I mean about the Beatles and the Merseyside and, you know, the Fab family, I'll call it. You know, the Liverpool, the British invasion, and which you were a huge part, really brought people together. And thanks to, I mean, I know there's evils in social media and it's a pain in the ass, but thanks to sane people on places like Facebook and YouTube and whatever, we're all still able to enjoy each other's music, and you can still give the gift of music to the world. And, you know, you've obviously got a huge fan base out there. That's got to feel really gratifying after such a while.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it still amazes me. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah, no, I said I'm absolutely sure. I was just going back to the Billy J. Of course, John Lennon suggested J. He wouldn't have suggested, you know, K or W, would he? Because J for John.
Well, it was for Julian, and I said I don't like that name.
Oh, funny, interesting. Okay. Yeah, well, Julian was born in what, April 62?
Yes.
So it would have been right around then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know, because that was all kept quiet back then.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Yes. No, that was all.
It is like, I'll be honest with you, it is like a family. The fest is like a whole family thing.
It is, isn't it?
It is. No, when people knew you were coming on.
Pardon?
When people knew you were coming on TeaFlix, they were like, "Oh, yeah, I met him at the fest, and he's so great." And this, that, the other. It's sort of like a high school reunion brought to you by music, isn't it?
Yeah. It's you see people that you haven't seen for a year or two.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Together.
So now tell me about your first hit, which I remember strongly. Do you want to know a secret?
Yeah.
How did you come to get hold of that song and do it? And
Brian gave me
Road with George Martin, no less.
Oh, George Martin, that's right. Wow.
I'll tell you the truth. Brian gave me a tape of John Lennon singing "Do You Want to Know a Secret" on a tape, and I played it to the Dakotas. We learned the song, we put it in the show, we did it in Hamburg, singing it 10 times a night. And I'll be honest with you, I'd been to Decca, Pie, everywhere, and being turned down.
Yeah.
And I went to Abbey Road, and I did it with George Martin. I did it exactly the same way we did it live on stage.
Yeah.
And Brian called me about a week or two later and said, George wants to release it. And I went, let's find a good song. And he says, no, George wants to put it out. And I was, obviously, went along with it. And but it took me by surprise.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, it's a classic song now, isn't it? It's on, it's one of those.
I also think that I think a lot to do with it, quite honestly, was it got a lot of publicity because the Perfumo trial was going on at the time.
That's right.
And the first TV thing I did on it was Seen at 6:30, where I was throwing secret files all around the studio, filing cabinets over. And I think that had a big impact on it,
That's absolutely. John Perfumo, for those of you who don't know, was a British MP caught in a scandal with some ladies of the night.
Christine Keeler.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that old. I remember it. Yeah.
So Brendan's just saying Bad to Me is one of his favorites. And Brendan's asking, ask Billy, what was your last gig at the original Cavern? Do you remember when that would have been?
I think that my last gig at the original Cavern would be with the Dakotas.
Okay.
It would be like 1960s, either late 62 or early 63.
Really?
Wow. Just incredible.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, you went on to tour because you were in Brian's stable, of course. You went on.
Well, at first, the Beatles did a week in every seaside town.
Yeah.
Right.
And I did all them shows, and then they did the Christmas show.
Yep.
At Finsbury Park Astoria, and I did that. And then, by then I'd had do you want to know a secret? Bad to Me, I'll Keep You Satisfied, Little Children. I was going on tours then. I was doing my own tour with I did tours with Tommy Rowe. I did a lot of tours with Gene Pitney.
Yes.
Oh,
what a voice.
Yeah.
And I toured with the Everly Brothers,
Incredible.
A lot of big tours.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hence you are also an author. You have a fabulous book out that people should go find at billyjkramermusic.com.
Do you want to know a secret?
Yeah, I'm sure there's more than one secret in there, is there?
Well, there's quite a few. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's not a very thick one. I could have made it. If I'd thrown a lot of people under the bus, it would have been thicker.
That's a good boy.
No, it's not worth it, is it?
I just wanted it to give some people an insight of my life,
That's right. Yes.
No,
it was really great. Yeah.
But then you made the transition over to the States with the whole British invasion thing. And it's been a big anniversary this past week of your appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. What was it like for the first time, landing in America and just knowing you were going to be on this huge television show? Were you
I'd been to America before, with Brian Epstein. And I always thought, even now, America, landing in New York is breathtaking.
Yeah.
For a kid from Liverpool, you come in and you see all them buildings. And I remember, pardon me, the first time Brian said to me when we were waiting for a car to pick us up, and he goes, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "I think we should get the next plane back to Liverpool." But when I did Ed Sullivan, I'll be honest with you, I'd done a lot of touring.
Yeah.
I had the experience. I did the London Palladium, which to me was on a par with the Ed Sullivan Show. It was a big, Ed Sullivan was 70 million. I think the Palladium was 30. So, I was very nervous at the Palladium, and I thought, when I do Ed Sullivan, I'm not going to get intimidated by it. And I just, I'll be honest with you, I did the sound check in the afternoon. I arrived just in time and walked on. And you just don't give yourself time. Like when you think it's scary, like 17 million people looking at me,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, it's like when you're live and you're in a big theater, it's like when you're playing live in a huge theater, you just find one friendly face in like the third row and you just play to that person, don't you?
Well, that's why I've never really liked big outside concerts because
no, well, it's difficult to.
Now you also did the Abbey show, didn't you, Billy?
It becomes impersonal.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
If it's a theater with good lighting and a couple of thousand people at the most,
great.
To me, it's like touch, feel. It's for real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you also did the Tammy show, didn't you?
The Tammy show was fantastic.
Yeah.
Tammy show was fantastic. I mean, the full cast of that show. Let's face it, there's James Brown, the Miracles, the Beach Boys, Jan and Dean, Marvin Gaye, Chuck Berry, the Supremes, Jerry and the Pacemakers.
Yeah.
Me,
Yeah.
A lot of great acts.
Yeah.
And you once did it. You did a show. Was that? I don't know if it was the same show, but you appeared on television alongside the Rolling Stones in a cast at some point, didn't you?
No, that was the Tammy show.
That was the Tammy show as well.
The Tammy show, yeah.
Oh,
That was where Mick had to follow James Brown, and I felt sorry for him.
Follow that.
Oh boy, yeah. Not a good lottery ticket in the lineup of things, is it? Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So you've just to commemorate your 50th anniversary a little while back in the music industry, you recorded "I Won the Fight," which is one of my favorite songs of yours. Yeah. What inspired that song? Where did it come from? How do you interpret? Because you don't necessarily always write your own songs. How do you approach it as an artist who is going to be the interpreter through your voice? When you get a song, do you know that it's just a fit, or do you have to work out the arrangements? What's the process?
You have to work on it. I Won the Fight, I'll be honest with you, it was the first time it happened. I'd done the whole CD, and I spoke to Don Solenzo, who I worked on with it, and I said to him, we've got 9 songs here, and we need something to tie together. And we sat down one day, and I played guitar, and he played bass, and we wrote "I Won the Fight" right off the bat.
Right. So when it comes from you as a songwriter, is that different than the way you approach the vocals and the interpretation and the meaning of the song you want to give to the fans?
I know. I'll be honest with you. I never think about it. It's you always try just to put yourself into it. It's like let's face it. When you cover somebody's songs, you have to make it. I always say you have to make it your own.
Yeah.
The way my interpretation of "Bad to Me," for instance, was, John Lennon sang it in the key of E.
Yeah.
And I thought, to me, I was shouting in the key of E, and I thought it had to have a nice side to it, so I changed the key to D.
Okay, put it down a bit.
to give it a gentler approach, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, usually, I'll be honest with you, when I get songs, usually I knock them around myself and try them in every sort of way I can possibly can till I find one that works for me.
Yeah, you've got to know as an
self-taught.
interpreter, because you're not just a singer, are you? You're an interpreter of the memory, of the feeling, of the message, of the lyrics, of all of it. So it's got to come naturally to you. Otherwise, don't force it, Phoebe, isn't it? We used to say.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to somebody recently, and I was saying, it's when you have a song for a while, you really have a chance to put yourself into it. But with the early songs like "Bad to Me" and "Do You Want to Know a Secret," they were only. I've done "Do You Want to Know a Secret" live, but "Bad to Me," John Lennon sat at the piano.
Yeah.
People go, well, "What was the demo like?" I go, "There was no demo."
No.
He played it at the piano, and I'd never heard it before, and I had to learn the song and the B-side and record it in 3 hours.
Oh my God!
Good God!
So it's hard to put yourself.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have put myself more into it. I'd liked a bit more time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I bet.
Where were you when that piano playing and was going on? Was it in Abbey Road in the studio, or
When what?
when John played the piano on "Bad to Me" and you had to learn it? Where were you?
That was at Abbey Road.
At Abbey Road. Wow.
Yeah.
If those walls could talk, eh?
Oh yeah. It was strange being in that room last August.
I bet. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we wanted to come back around to that. How long did it take to put the "Are You With Me" project together? And just walking back through the doors of Abbey Road must have been quite an emotional experience for you.
It was.
Yeah, I bet.
I'll be honest with you. I was very nervous leading up to it. There was a lot of. I'll be honest with you. It was a lot of preparation.
Yeah, of course.
The songs, it was. I'll be honest with you. It was like organizing a wedding.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that went into it, but the actual recording was only about two or 3 days.
Good grief. Well, but when you have the professional experience you've had of all of those gigs and all of those tours, like take us back to the Hamburg days. Are there any specific memories of Hamburg where you thought, oh, I learned something from this show or this gig or this run, or did you feel yourself developing as an artist during the Hamburg days?
I've got to be very honest about it, Ruth. When the screaming stopped and the craziness stopped, I started to feel myself getting better as an artist. Mm-hmm. Because during that time, it was like you went on stage and people went crazy and kids threw sweets and candy at you and stuff like that. And there was all that going on. You never thought about artistic development,
No.
So I think it came later. Mm-hmm. I felt that I was getting good after that.
Right. And so, and did you speak any German when you went to Hamburg, or were you just, making it through like everyone else?
I just made it through. I don't understand it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I lived in Germany. I was signed to, as an artist, as a singer and songwriter, I was signed to BMG, an imprint of BMG, who our regular viewers will know I called the big mean Germans, because once I got the contract translated, I knew what they were up to.
Well, I mean, it was my first big professional gig.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, there was like Cliff Bennett, the Rebel Rousers were there.
Wow.
The Searchers were there. Gene Vincent was the headliner.
Good God.
Brenda Lee was there at the time. I was like just a bit blown away with it all.
Absolutely.
And would this have been the Star Club or the Kaiserkeller or all of the, or the Bambi or all of the above? Or?
This was at the Star Club.
At the Star Club, okay. Incredible.
It was all new and the whole Brian's idea was I just joined the Dakotas.
Yep.
And he said, he said, "I'm sending you to Hamburg to get it together." So it was like a rehearsal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an off-Broadway thing, isn't it? They run plays, quote, off-Broadway. So then when they bring it to town for the big guns, all the kinks are worked out.
Yeah. Talking about off-Broadway, that was one thing.
Brian was not.
The only time I wanted to do a Broadway thing was, do you know I auditioned for Blood Brothers?
Oh,
did you really?
Yes, I did.
Oh, what a great play that was.
Yeah.
And I thought, people had asked me about doing stuff like that. And I was always nervous, but I went to see it and I thought, I can do this.
Yep, you could have.
And I learned the script, I learned all the songs.
Wow.
I auditioned. You're going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I never heard another call.
Oh, isn't that terrible? Did you see it with Sean and David Cassidy and Petula
Yes,
Clark?
I did on Broadway.
Yeah, we did too.
David was dear 20, 30-year friend of ours and a client for many years. And we went to see it in Atlanta, Georgia, when we were at the Fox Theater.
Yeah.
What an emotional play that was. You'd have been absolutely perfect. I wonder what happened there. Well,
I don't know, but I for me, I'd love to have done it.
Yeah.
It was a Liverpool play.
Yeah.
I had the accent.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cassidy, it was funny. He used to call us and say, I'm ringing for me Scouse lessons. And we'd put him through the mill and I'd say, okay, read me a line. And I'd say, well, that was shite. Practice and call me back. What a small world that is.
Yeah.
Wow. Petula Clark's still going strong too. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I think I saw her in Atlantic City.
Yep.
It must be 5 years ago.
She's got a very young boyfriend now.
Good on her.
She's
always had a young boyfriend. What are you talking about?
Okay, officially.
She and Joan Collins are the queens of that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know Pep was still around. She must be.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she's still working.
She's got to be up there.
Yeah.
She's featured in Angie's new book, as are you. There are faces I remember. So for the people who've got that out there, there's only 1,000 books available. So there is a Billy J. Kramer portrait that I digitally painted, which I will email you after our show.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's when you had your hair longer, but it's a couple of years ago since I painted it.
Yeah.
I will send that to you. But you're still rocking the noggin. I love that.
Rocking the what?
Rocking your noggin, your hair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Lucky
Oh,
boy.
by the way, I just heard that somebody is creating a bust of you in Liverpool. Not a full statue, but a bust.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Well, I'll talk about it a bit. It's I sat for it while I was in Liverpool last year.
Oh, great.
And they want to put a post up somewhere.
As they should.
But my partner wants a statue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, I see the point. No, I understand that.
Start with the head and then work downwards.
Exactly.
We'll see.
It's like the metaverse. Nobody's got legs yet.
Yeah.
Everybody's just talking heads. Brendan's asking, do you have a local footy team that you support? Were you a Liverpool or Everton supporter?
I'm going to be like Paul McCartney. He supports both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think.
Good answer.
I always say to people, if Liverpool do well, great. If Everton do well, great. They're both from Liverpool.
Yes, that's
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
I didn't know for many years that in Liverpool, the red teams are the Church of England teams and the blue teams are the Catholic teams. I never knew that.
Well, I knew that, I'll be honest with you. Coming to America, I sort of got into baseball and stuff like that, I go and see the ice hockey here.
Oh, great.
But I mean, I've started getting back into soccer a lot. And I must say, I was very disappointed that Liverpool didn't win more things.
Yes. But Jurgen Klopp, I mean, isn't it great though how far we've come? Because do you remember Stan Boardman, the Liverpool comedian?
Oh, the Germans.
Them Germans.
They bombed our chippy.
They bombed.
I love him. He's so funny.
My husband Martin is German, and he's up in the engineering booth, and he's going.
Is he still going around?
I don't know.
If Stan I think Stan died. I think.
But he used to say, "I ate them Germans.
They
bombed our
chippy."
But
he
now
was very funny.
You've got the whole of the COP singing the Jurgen Klopp song. Jurgen.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So when Jurgen Klopp, the German, became the coach of Liverpool, they turned this Beatles song into the Klopp song, and the whole COP choir used to sing it. Jurgie's good to me. He says we'll win the league, he said so. Jurgie's good for me and we feel fine. And they sing it every week when Jurgie was touring coaching before he just retired about 3-4 years ago.
That was a shock, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was sad. But
he was back at the weekend. He was at one of the Taylor Swift concerts.
Yeah, well, he's probably still got the back key to Anfield, doesn't he? He's probably still got the back gate key to Anfield, so he can get into the Taylor Swift show.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, to current things and where people can hear your wonderful new music.
So, yes, tell us all about how people can get hold of Are You With Me?
Well, it's on BillyJKramer.com.
Oh,
Billy J. Kramer Music, I think the record's on, right?
Billy J. Kramer Music.
That's right.
Okay, great.
And the book is there too, and all of your things. Have you made
quite some years since the book came out, isn't it?
It's been some years, but I don't know.
You have a plan to write another one?
Pardon?
Do you have a plan to write another book?
Another book?
I would like to amend it at some point.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. A lot of people
I'd like to amend it, add things to it,
Great. Well, because it's such a fascinating read, and I think it would definitely be worth updating, especially with all of your new experiences.
Yeah,
that's
great. Abbey Road and this new album.
Abbey Road, moving to Chicago.
That's right. Yeah.
All of those fantastic things.
I got to have some fun with it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we know publishers. Madam's got enough books out. She knows people.
I'm working on my 9th book at the moment. I didn't publish the first one till I was 82. So I've got cracking since.
Yeah, you see. So our regular viewers will know. By the way, folks, I haven't been able with StreamYard. I haven't been able to put your comments up this week. I am watching on my cell phone. Usually I can pop the comments in, but for some reason, their technology is not doing that this week. But anyway, lots and lots of people are sending love from all over the world. And we will put this as ever on the TeaFlix playlist on our YouTube channel. But our regular viewers will.
That's really kind. Thank you so much.
My gosh, it's a pleasure.
Our regular viewers will know that our very special guests get their own personalized limerick. So are you sitting comfortably, Billy J?
I am.
Okay. Well, here we go. And a 1, 2, 3.
Billy J, a huge Liverpool star.
With the Beatles, he toured near and far. He and Epstein were clean, topped the charts, such a dream. His voice and his looks
raised the bar. Ta-da!
That's great. Thank you.
I'll print that out. I'll send that to you on email as well, so you can have it for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks so much, Billy, for spending the time. It's been lovely.
It's been great talking to you.
Yes.
Lovely.
Good.
And we will see you all of a sudden on BillyJKramermusic.com. You guys go over there, join the fan club, join the mailing list, get all of your information about Spotify and where to buy and download the fantastic album, Are You With Me? We will see you kids next week, and lots of love to all. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.